Sillies sheep. In a mountain meadow in the open air lived a man named Silly. All day he frolicked in the sunshine, while at night he did nothing but moonbeams for a bed. See, there's the moon. He's sleeping. Then one morning a gust of wind paid a visit. It was there only a minute, but still Silly felt chilly. Brrr, he's cold. The next morning the wind visited again. What if it came to stay? Silly searched in his sack for a solution. Nothing. There's an umbrella. There's a tennis racket. That's not going to help. There's a book. He sighed and scanned the sky. Sheep, he explained, pointing to the clouds. See the sheep in the sky? That's what I need. Sheep to make wool, wool to make yarn, yarn to make a sweater to keep me warm. That's what Grandma does. Silly wasn't a shepherd, but he was sure he could find some sheep. Silly looked high. See, he's looking high up where the birds are. Silly looked low. See, there's looking under the ground. Ha! Up on a hill, Silly spotted 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep, 4, 5 sheep. 5 sheep to make a wool, to make yarn, to make a sweater to keep him warm. See the 5 sheep? And he needs to have a sweater. He's cold. Silly hurried over and hiked up to the top. See, he's going way up to the top because that's where the sheep are. Follow me, sheep, he said, but the sheep didn't move. See, the sheep, they just stay there. Not even when Silly tempted them with handfuls of hay and maybe even some corn. Not even when he showed them how delicious it was. Silly was stumped. Shifting sheep is rough, he said. Rough, rough, rough. Silly giggled. He sounded like a dog. Oh, said Silly, that's what I need, a sheepdog to round up my sheep. Silly looked high. Silly looked low. He even searched in his sack. See, he's looking for a sheepdog. But Silly didn't have a sheepdog, just like he didn't have wool or a yarn or a sweater to keep him warm if the wind came to stay. I know what to do, explained Silly. The sheep still didn't move, so one by one, Silly picked them up and carried them down the hill. See, he's carrying them down the hill. They were very heavy. What have you been eating? Silly asked. Once his flock was comfortably settled, Silly took out his sharpest shears. Soon he would have everything he needed to make his sweater. Except there was a problem. Their wool was hard as stone. See, it's just hard as stone. Not to worry, said Silly. I know what to do. He squirted on conditioner and squeezed on lotion. Even mashed up the bananas he was saving for lather and smeared them on his sheep. But their wool was still hard as stone. Even Grandma couldn't spin that wool. And so the very next day, when the wind did come to stay, Silly had no wool, no yarn, and no warm sweater. Just 5 impossible sheep. See these sheep? The wind whirled around Silly, chilling his face, his arms, his feet. But my back isn't chilly, thought Silly. Why is that? When Silly turned around, he knew. Thank you, he said, giving the wind-shielding sheep a hug. See, he's giving a sheep a hug. A smile spread across Silly's chilly lips. I know what to do. My side isn't chilly. Silly's smile grew even wider. Silly added another sheep and another. See, there's Silly, and there's the sheep all around him. He's going to keep warm. Silly wasn't chilly anymore. See, there's Silly, there's the sheep all around him. I don't need a sweater, he declared. I don't need yarn. I don't even need wool. I just need sheep and maybe a cow to make hot chocolate. See, there's a sheep. And that's the end of the book. So Silly is warm, but he needs a cow so he can get hot chocolate. to Max, sheep counter extraordinary, and I am the best test reader ever.
Yeah, to Max, he's the best reader ever. Amen.